Manji witnessed Hishiyasu Shido killing his sister Machai, after which he unleashed his rage and killed him along with all of his men. Some time later, Rin Asano was at her father's grave when recalled who she was spending time with her mother, when her father came injured, followed by Ito Ryu members and then was killed by them. At the grave, she was approached by Yaebakuni who asked her about the grave and Rin explained about her father and mother. Rin then told Yaebakuni that she will kill the murderers, but hearing who they were, Yaebakuni told her she won't be able to and suggested Rin to hire a bodyguard and in particular Manji. After that, Rin went looking from place to place, trying to find Manji. Eventually, she spent a night in a shed she found and in the morning saw outside Manji cutting wood. As they spoke, she realized he was the man she was looking for and explained her situation and her desire for revenge. He didn't want to accept it first, as he knew that people twist justice and evil through their eyes and asked her to prove her determination. Rin then tried offering her body, but got slapped by Manji for doing so, telling her that she reminded him of his sister. Sabato Kuroi of the Ito Ryu kept sending Rin love poems and eventually she went to meet with him. There she congratulated him on his poetry and recited a poem by her. Hearing it, Sabato was delighted, but then proceeded taking out his sword, commenting that his love aims for ultimate affection, death. Rin then revealed she was also there to kill him. Manji then appeared, saying that Sabato saved him the trouble of looking for him as he came there. Manji tried attacking, but Sabato easily cut off Manji's leg. Rin then attacked too and managed to reveal Sabato's face along with the two heads on his shoulders. Sabato then explained that she likes to stuff the women he loves and puts them on his shoulder, then looking them get old and repulsive, and revealing that one of the heads was his wife, while the other was Rin's mother. As he neutralized Rin, he promised that once he kills her, he will kill himself and ask a friend to stuff them together so they would be together for eternity. As Rin was about to accept that fate and kill herself, Manji stabbed Sabato from behind and then proceeded cutting him to pieces. Manji then scolded Rin that she was ready to give her life just to kill some underling, and then asked her to bring him his foot and explained about his immortality. Saori, a former spy and master swordsman turned painter, is visited by Rin, who seeks his help in avenging her father's death at the hands of Ito Ryu. Despite his reluctance, Rin offers to hire Saori as her bodyguard, but he declines, opting to focus on his art instead. The following morning, Rin narrowly escapes an assassin but is rescued by Manji. They are ambushed by numerous adversaries, and Saori, oblivious to the conflict, continues to work on his painting. A violent incident provides Saori with the inspiration he was seeking, but his artwork is inadvertently destroyed during the skirmish. After defeating most of the attackers, Rin is captured and bound by the last assassin. However, Saori intervenes and kills the assassin, infuriated by the destruction of his art. After that, Manji shares a personal connection with Rin, explaining that she reminds him of his late sister, who died because of him. Despite Saori's decision not to accompany them, he gives Rin money for their journey. As Rin visits a blacksmith to sharpen Manji's weapons, she comes across a sword that belonged to her father, which is sought by Tato Magatsu. He agrees to consider selling the sword to Rin if she can provide information about the Asano girl he is searching for. When Rin informs Manji of the sword's existence, he decides to confront Tato Magatsu and secure the weapon. In a brutal battle, Manji is severely injured but ultimately defeats Tato. The following morning, Rin discovers the sword beside her and questions Manji, who pretends not to know how it got there. Manji refers to Rin as Big Sister in an attempt to make him cry, as she resembles his late sister. Although he refuses to shed tears, he tells Rin it's alright to cry, and she calls him Big Brother before leaving. Manji encounters a disguised prostitute who attempts to assassinate him, revealing herself as Meiki Otono Takabana, a skilled sword fighter aligned with Anatsu. Their battle ends with Manji sparing Meiki's life. Meiki then returns to her geisha persona and performs for patrons, with Hatsu revealing her past as a prostitute to one of the customers. Meanwhile, Rin is upset with Manji for his encounter with Meiki. Meiki subsequently meets with Anatsu, who asserts that he did not purchase her freedom for her to become a geisha. Meiki vows to take revenge against Manji, while Anatsu expresses his desire to possess her. Meiki is approached by men from her previous life who demand her return. She brutally kills them before deciding to confront Manji again. The next day, Rin is angry and leaves to buy sweets while Manji battles Meiki. The fight takes a brutal turn, with Manji losing his hand and leg. Manji encourages her to remember her reasons for wielding a sword and standing up against her ideals. After reattaching his limbs, Manji prepares for another confrontation with Maki. Rin arrives and stands between them, ready to fight Maki. Maki questions Rin's willingness to take lives for revenge, but Rin emphasizes her commitment to avenging her parents and protecting her family. This prompts Maki to leave, asking Manji to protect Rin. Rin stays with Manji and helps him reattach his hand, reminding him of the importance of trust and honesty. Manji acknowledges her point and jokingly comments on the smell of vomit on her. As this occurs, Maki leaves a message for Anatsu before departing. As children, Maki saved Kagehisa from a wild dog, but his grandfather contemplated killing her for her supposed weakness. Kagehisa's attempt to aid her was thwarted by Saburo. Later, he defied his grandfather's wishes and went to check on her, finding that she had killed 52 wild dogs. However, when he reported this to his grandfather, Saburo mocked him and violently reprimanded him, emphasizing the family's samurai heritage. In the present, Rin trained with Manji, focusing on her knife-throwing skills and swordsmanship. Realizing her physical limitations, Manji encouraged Rin to acknowledge her weaknesses as a vital step towards becoming stronger. While Manji rested, Rin ventured to a riverbank, where she encountered a man expertly cutting leaves with his weapon. She admired his skill, but when he turned and revealed his face as Kagehisa Anatsu, Kagehisa noticed Rin's presence and beckoned her to reveal herself. He disarmed himself, took another sword, and Rin attempted to launch a surprise attack but only managed to nick his arm with a knife. When she tried to pick up his weapon, it proved too heavy. Kagehisa then threw his sword at her, knocking her down. As he captured Rin, Kagehisa was puzzled by her fearlessness and the absence of pleas for her life. She confessed her desire for revenge and her willingness to die. Intrigued, Kagehisa chose not to kill her but explained that one of his subordinates would eventually confront her and Manji. Rin questioned why he had killed her father, and Kagehisa revealed the rivalry between their grandfathers in Mutant Ikai Ryu, leading to her grandfather's expulsion and her father's death. He also disclosed that Rin's fighting style was incompatible with Mutant Ikai Ryu. He freed Rin, who questioned why he spared her. Kagehisa explained that she was no longer part of Mutant Ikai Ryu and was closer to their school. Manji and Rin took a break during their travels and stopped at a place to rest. Rin went to order some food while Manji waited. A traveling monk approached Manji, revealing that he knew who Manji was and was willing to provide information about Kagehisa, the leader of Edo Ryu. The monk, Aiku, proposed that they team up to stop Kagehisa, explaining his reasons for seeking vengeance. However, Manji declined, realizing that Aiku had killed even more people than he had. As Aiku was leaving, he suddenly attacked Manji with a dagger and they both ended up stabbing each other. Manji was surprised that Aiku knew about his immortality but was harsh with just a dagger. Aiku revealed that he had also encountered Iebukuni, who gave him immortality 200 years ago. But over time, he had lost all his family and friends. That night, Manji's old wounds and injuries from before he became immortal reopened as a special poison on the dagger had caused the sacred bloodworms to stop working. Rin gave him her family's secret antitoxin, hoping it would help. Manji's wounds eventually healed completely, and he realized the antidote had worked. Rin went to seek a doctor, but she soon realized that no doctor could help Manji. As she left the doctor's place, Iebukuni appeared and asked Rin to take her to a specific location. Back where Manji had stayed, he had fully recovered. He received a message from Aiku about where to meet him and that he had taken Rin. Iebukuni revealed to be an imposter under Aiku's control. Rin asked Aiku about the poison, and he explained that the bloodworms promote tissue recovery, granting immortality. However, the poison killed the bloodworms, and Aiku had discovered it years ago without finding an antidote. He left briefly and returned with blood on his sword. Rin realized he had killed Iebukuni and the baby she was carrying. Rin asked Aiku why he did it, and he shared his tragic history of serving Toyotomi during the Sengoku period, losing his family, and becoming immortal. Aiku hoped to have someone like Manji by his side and suggested that Rin lick the blood from her cut tongue and Aiku's arm to gain a better chance at fulfilling her revenge. Rin reluctantly licked his blood, but Manji arrived just in time. Aiku explained that it wasn't easy to transfer the bloodworms so easily and mentioned that the old woman was dead. Rin then returned with the baby, witnessing Manji and Aiku had already stabbed themselves multiple times. Aiku poured poison on his blade, and they continued to fight. As Manji began to weaken, Rin intervened. Manji suddenly disappeared, only to reappear by jumping from a tree and cutting Aiku to pieces. In his last moments, Aiku acknowledged Rin's words and shared his weariness of living as a worm. He revealed that Kagehisa would be moving to Kaga in half a month. At a festival, Rin encountered a boy named Renzo who cut in front of her in line to order food. Initially annoyed, Rin was about to scold him, but Renzo recommended the food. Meanwhile, a man named Arya sold masks to 2 children, cleverly convincing the boy to give up the last Tengu mask to the girl. Arya modified one of the masks with his own hand and handed it to the boy. As the kids left, a brief hostile exchange occurred between Arya and Manji. However, when Arya's son, Renzo, arrived, the tension diffused, and the 2 families parted ways. Rin watched them, feeling irritated. Rin reminisced about her past experiences at the festival with her grandfather, father, and mother. She also saw Renzo arguing with a man who accused him of breaking his sandals and picked a fight with him. Rin intervened, apologizing for Renzo's behavior, and identified herself as a member of the Asano family. However, the man taunted her about her family's death and forced her to mend his sandals. Renzo then asked Rin about Ito Ryu, a term he was unfamiliar with. Renzo brought Rin to meet his father, Arya. During their conversation, Arya explained that he used to be a swordsman but gave up the sword after his wife ran away with their child and subsequently died. Rin shared the tragic story of her family's demise, recounting the night her parents died at the hands of Kagehisa. Rin revealed that, on that fateful night, Tato had given her mother a knife to end her own life rather than be touched by anyone else. Arya encouraged her to have fun instead. Rin assured Renzo she wasn't there to kill Arya but to seek an apology. Initially mocked, Arya agreed to apologize but then attacked Rin, knocking her down. He painted her face, preparing to kill her, but heard a noise and went to investigate. Upon his return, he found Manji protecting Rin. A confrontation between Manji and Arya ensued, with Arya initially gaining the upper hand by stabbing Manji. Rin woke up and tried to intervene but was easily stopped by Arya. Manji and Arya continued to battle, and Arya managed to stab Manji again. However, Manji ultimately turned the tide by using a hidden blade to stab Arya near a window. Arya, dying, asked Rin to finish him off so he wouldn't have to face his son. Rin refused, but Manji stepped in and stabbed Arya despite Rin's protests. Just then, Renzo returned and witnessed the scene. Unable to fully comprehend what had happened, he grabbed a makeshift weapon and fled. Some days later, Renzo paid his respects at his father's grave. Rin approached him, and he revealed his intention to leave home, suspecting that his father's body had disappeared when he checked on him. He was determined to avenge his father. Rin disclosed that she had buried the other man, showing Renzo where she had done so. Tato was being carried in a basket to Tenpo Dojo. Suspicious that he didn't hear anyone else talking, he was surprised when the men carrying him attacked him. Tato managed to avoid their hidden blades and killed one of the attackers. He offered to take the surviving man to a doctor in exchange for information, but the man could only utter Kagi. Before dying, Tato continued to the Tenpo Dojo, where he met Makoto and Kajimura Habaki, the daimyo's guard. Kagehisa explained that the Ito Ryu would become a clan retained by the shogunate in a month, with Fusano and Morizumi serving as proxy instructors. Elsewhere, Shogo Morizumi of the Ito Ryu was killed by a man named Jiichi who inquired about other members of the Ito Ryu. Kene Fusano was poisoned and subsequently finished off by Hyakuren, who then met with Shinriji outside. Shinriji praised Hyakuren's dedication, and she had to throw up due to ingesting some of the poison as well. After learning about the Ito Ryu's allegiance to the shogunate, Tato decided to leave the group and informed Kagehisa. Kagehisa assured him he could return at any time, and Tato warned Kagehisa of Akagi, based on what he heard from his attackers earlier. Tato visited a brothel and spent time with a prostitute named Ren. He didn't engage in intimacy, as she reminded him of his sister. Ren shared her plans to leave the brothel in 2 years, gave Tato a hairpin, and promised to keep seeing him. Shira, who had just missed Tato, met with a comrade and mentioned seeing blood on Tato's clothes. He inferred that Tato had killed someone again. Rin resolved to kill Kagehisa and asked Manji to train her rigorously. He agreed but did not hold back, leading to Rin enduring a difficult training session. Manji left to buy corn, and Rin was surprised when Shira approached her, asking about Manji's whereabouts. Manji returned and confronted Shira, questioning his identity. While they talked, Shira explained that he was from Mugai Ryu and aimed to destroy the Ito Ryu. He proposed an alliance with Manji. In the morning, Rin found Shira in their camp, claiming that Manji had gone into town to pick up a sword he had left for sharpening. Shira then offered Rin some boar meat that he had obtained. During their meal, Rin asked Shira about his strength, and he shared that he had been killing people for money since he was 16. Manji met with members of the Mugai Ryu and exchanged information about Kajihisa. He questioned the reliability of their intelligence and suspected that they might have outside support. Kato visited the brothel, only to discover that Ren had been killed. He received a drawing of the symbol on the killer's clothes from Ren's friend and learned of her anger at him for not saving Ren. Rin and Hyakuren struggled to sleep but shared some moments of conversation. Rin discussed Manji's insight into the situation and Hyakuren warned her not to fall for a samurai. That night, Hyakuren had nightmares about her past. The following day, Rin tried to engage Manji in conversation while he was sleeping. They were later joined by Shira, who shared new information about Kagehisa's disguise plan. Rin discussed Kagehisa's possible collaboration with the shogunate. While Rin went to get food, Shira provided more details, mentioning the possibility of needing connections to leave the checkpoint. They then noticed a commotion outside, with a man claiming to be Kajihisa. Rin and Shira followed a woman dressed as Kajihisa, suspecting a distraction. Meanwhile, Jiichi followed another decoy, and Shinriji and Hyakuren pursued a third. Shira was about to attack the woman he was following when Rin advised confirming Kagehisa's face first. However, the woman turned out to be a prostitute, and her true aim was to identify a mole. When two men approached her, the woman left, and Shira eliminated the two men. Rin believed he was done and emerged, but Shira warned of more pursuers. He then went after the prostitute. Shira assaulted the woman, but Rin intervened. After a brief scuffle, Shira prepared to kill her, but Rin confronted him, accusing him of being one of the people she despised. She charged at him, and just as he was about to strike her with her own sword, Manji arrived and severed Shira's hand. As bystanders approached, Shira escaped. Manji, fearing suspicion in a murder case, urged Rin to leave him and go on her own. She encountered Jiichi, who informed her of Kagehisa's whereabouts. As she traveled, Rin noticed strange looks and discovered wanted posters of her and Manji for murder. Concerned about passing a checkpoint, she sought help from a woman they had previously spoken to. Returning to the house they had stayed in, Rin asked the woman for guidance on passing the checkpoint. The woman advised her to find a man named Nakaya in a nearby village. Upon reaching the village, Rin located Nakaya and Sato, his partner. She asked Nakaya to act as her foster parent to facilitate her passage through the checkpoint. And Nakaya, after hearing her story, initially hesitated due to a past incident. That night, while bathing, Sato confronted Rin, questioning her sincerity about avenging her parents. Rin affirmed her commitment, and Sato, holding a knife, seemed conflicted. The next morning, Sato spoke with Nakaya about helping Rin, expressing concern for her safety. Nakaya decided to assist her, and they proceeded to the checkpoint. At the checkpoint, Nakaya presented Rin as his wife's little sister. As they were leaving, the head guard commented on Rin being pregnant, and Rin confirmed her children were fine. He noted the young age at which Rin must have given birth and suggested a body inspection. Rin, wanting to avoid further scrutiny, revealed a fake abdominal scan, and the head guard apologized again, allowing them to pass without further inspection. After crossing the checkpoint, Nakaya congratulated Rin on handling the situation well. Rin credited Sato for providing crucial information about her fake sister and creating a convincing backstory. The two parted ways, and Rin found a message from Sato, who couldn't accept all the money Rin offered and had given her half of it. Thank you for watching till the end, and please don't forget to subscribe.